Het-Heru, Haru Nefer, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste. This is Kasakma Keperu with another broadcast for you. Now I want to talk about the problem that we are faced with in our world today. Many individuals out there, especially in the conspiracy theory arena, are going on a lecture circuit presenting their perspective on it. However, what I'm beginning to notice is that many of them are making some large sums of money, they have a big following, but yet they don't present a viable solution to addressing the problem. And here's what I mean. Now, if you ever work in advertising or in marketing or sales, there's three ways that you can sell to the masses of people. The first way is having something that's value added, meaning that you focus on the features and the value it has for the consumer. The second way is to be solution oriented. You find out what the problem is that the people are having and you come out with your product to be able to solve that problem. Now the third way is when you realize that the second way there is no problem and you essentially have something that no one needs. So what do is you create a problem and then you try to sell your product based on the creation of that problem. And we see this in modern society with things like makeup, especially for women, where the whole idea is to sell you on the ideology that you're not enough, that you don't look good, and that with their makeup product, you will stand out, you'll look beautiful, and you'll attract the attention of both males and females. And they've made $1 billion industry around this, making women feel inadequate and not up to par. And the same thing you'll notice with like Jordan sneakers. You know, they come out with these very expensive sneakers that are at least $200, and they offer no real value, they don't really solve a problem, but you'll find that the masses of young males who come from low-income backgrounds buy these shoes, buy these sneakers every time they're released. This is because they go on the celebrity endorsement, they go on the fact that you are part of this exclusive club that can afford these expensive sneakers. So this is how our society sells things. Now back to what I was saying before. When you have individuals on the lecture circuit, like for example, your David Icke, your Max Egan. Now I'm not singling those guys out and saying that they're wrong because I believe they're very sincere in what they're doing. But they are inventing a problem, and whether it comes in the form of reptiles or aliens or whatever, the way that they go about solving the problem, so they invent this problem, which is basically fear-based programming. So they get you to be afraid of this whole idea of a new world order and what's coming, and then they try to indoctrinate you into their perspective, which is not solutions-based. They have no real viable solution to the problem. And many times what you'll find out is their solution is take political action, vote a new president, and if you notice with every president that comes in, he always talks about how he is going to improve the economy and he is going to reduce military spending or a war abroad, but he ends up doing exactly the same thing as the previous administration. So this is the idea of what they're doing, is just selling you things that you don't need, or selling you based on fear-based programming. So when you have these individuals going out there and speaking about the oligarchy and the ruling elite, yes, they exist. Yes, they have taken control of the planet. They're retarding the progress of the planet. But the idea that they are these evil creatures like reptiles or aliens is playing into the fact that it's all fear-based, and that they are inventing, they basically are inventing the problem. Now, again, as I pointed to the political aspect, where every administration there is an enemy, whether it's Saddam Hussein, ISIS, or whatever, it's the same thing. What we have to start understanding, especially in the spiritual community, is that the solution to the issues is will come in the form of you awakening to your God-man, God-woman power. You have to understand who you are, and that the change in the world will only come about when you resurrect Osar within. So you have to come into a knowledge of self, and then use that, not in political action or a military coup d'etat revolution, but to understand that you are God, and as that is the basis of everything, you can literally change reality by changing your belief system. You don't have to form these political action committees. You don't have to do all this yelling and screaming about, oh, you know, we have too many guns in the hands of people, so let's come against the idea of selling guns, or protest against the NRA, or whatever. These things are not necessary, and they don't solve the problem, because they basically engaged in the Cartesian one-to-one relationship, meaning that what the Greeks thought was that to solve a problem you have to directly interface or directly attack the problem, but we know that life is more complex than that. And then if you're operating from the right brain, then you know, or the metaphysical realm, then you know that all things are one, and that you don't have to attack the problem head on. You can attack it from an indirect way, and therefore solve the issue. So what I want to say to you is, don't engage in left brain fear-based programming, where you're pushed left and right whenever there is a political agenda, and they get to use you as a pawn, whether it be the government or these conspiracy theorists who are going around lecturing, because again, they have no real solution to the problem. They'll continually state what the problem is, get you all fearful, but then sell you on the next lecture, whether it be they're speaking in England or they're speaking in Hawaii, just to get you to buy tickets and forever support them, you know, and give them donations. But when you sit down and you ask them, especially the Christian ministers, you know, well, what is your solution? Are we forever going to come and be a member of the congregation, learning and just reciting quotes from the Bible or Psalms from the Bible? And the same thing with the Quran. If you notice, it's all based on fear, going to hell, or if you don't proselytize for the religion, then you know, you are not a true follower of Islam or Muhammad. It's all that nonsense. It's really childish. So instead of Catholicism, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity awakening you to the power that's within you to solve the ills of the world, they want to disempower you and make you a follower the rest of your life, and put you in a state of fear that you may go to hell if you don't listen to them. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say on this subject. This is Kasakma Keparu. If you like this broadcast, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and, you know, share this video so we can get the revolution started in a very right brain spiritual way. Until next time, Amen Ra.